Our planet is warming. This is not a prediction, it is a fact. 2024 has already witnessed record-breaking temperatures across the globe. Glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, and sea levels are rising. The consequences of global warming are no longer a distant threat. They are here, and they are being felt by people and ecosystems worldwide. The Earth's climate has always changed, but the current warming trend is unprecedented in human history. The rate of change is particularly alarming. We are conducting a massive experiment with our planet, and the outcome is far from certain. The scientific consensus is clear. Human activities are the dominant cause of this warming. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and other industrial processes release vast quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and driving up global temperatures. Global warming is not just an environmental issue, it is a societal issue, an economic issue, and a moral issue. It threatens our health, our livelihoods, and our security. No nation is immune to its effects. Rising temperatures are already having a profound impact on human health. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense, leading to heat stroke, respiratory problems, and other heat-related illnesses. Climate change is also expanding the range of disease-carrying insects, increasing the risk of malaria, dengue fever, and other vector-borne diseases. The economic costs of climate change are also mounting. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and droughts are causing billions of dollars in damage to infrastructure, crops, and property. The World Bank estimates that climate change could push more than 100 million people into poverty by 2030. The Earth's atmosphere acts like a greenhouse, trapping heat from the sun and keeping our planet habitable. Certain gases in the atmosphere, known as greenhouse gases, play a crucial role in this process. The most important greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, are releasing massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases act like a thickening blanket, trapping more heat and warming the planet. Deforestation, agriculture, and industrial processes also contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. As greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere increase, so too does the Earth's temperature. This warming effect is leading to a cascade of changes in the Earth's climate system, including rising sea levels, more frequent and intense heat waves, changes in precipitation patterns, and more extreme weather events. One of the most visible and immediate impacts of global warming is an increase in extreme weather events. As the Earth's atmosphere warms, it holds more moisture, leading to more intense rainfall and a higher risk of flooding. At the same time, higher temperatures increase evaporation rates, making droughts more severe and prolonged in other regions. The connection between global warming and hurricanes is complex. While there is no definitive evidence that climate change is increasing the number of hurricanes, there is growing scientific consensus that it is making them more intense. Warmer ocean temperatures provide more energy to these storms, leading to higher wind speeds, heavier rainfall, and greater destructive potential. Global warming is also contributing to more frequent and intense heat waves. Heat waves are prolonged periods of excessively hot weather, often accompanied by high humidity. They can have devastating impacts on human health, agriculture, and ecosystems. Section 5. Rising tides, shrinking coastlines. As global temperatures rise, so do sea levels. This is due to thermal expansion of water and melting glaciers. The Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets hold enough water to raise sea levels by several meters. Even a small amount of melting can impact coastal communities. Rising sea levels threaten coastal communities worldwide. Low-lying island nations are particularly vulnerable, as are densely populated coastal cities. Even a small rise can lead to increased coastal erosion, more frequent and severe flooding, and saltwater intrusion into freshwater aquifers. The impacts of sea level rise are already being felt. Coastal communities face more frequent and damaging floods, and some low-lying areas are being abandoned. As sea levels rise, adaptation costs will grow, and displacement from coastal areas will likely increase. Section 6. The global response to a global crisis. The international community has recognized the urgency of the climate crisis and has taken steps to address it. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015, is a landmark international treaty aimed at limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, with efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Under the Paris Agreement, countries have committed to reducing their greenhouse gas emissions and working together to adapt to the impacts of climate change. The agreement includes provisions for financial and technological support to help developing countries transition to low-carbon economies and build resilience to climate impacts. While the Paris Agreement represents a significant step forward in the global fight against climate change, it is not enough. Current pledges by countries are insufficient to meet the agreement's goals, and global greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise. More ambitious action is needed to avert the worst impacts of climate change. Section 7. India's fight for a sustainable future. India, with its vast population and rapidly growing economy, faces unique challenges and opportunities in the face of climate change. India is already experiencing more frequent and severe heat waves, droughts, floods, and cyclones. Despite these challenges, India has emerged as a global leader in the fight against climate change. The country is committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions intensity by 33 to 35% below 2005 levels by 2030. India is also taking ambitious steps to adapt to the impacts of climate change, focusing on agriculture, water resources, and coastal zones. India's efforts are driven by a commitment to sustainable development and a desire to seize economic opportunities in a low-carbon economy. Section 8. Renewable Energy, India's Energy Revolution. One of the cornerstones of India's climate action plan is a massive expansion of renewable energy. India has set an ambitious target of achieving 175 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2022, including 100 gigawatts from solar power. The country is well on its way to achieving this goal, with solar power capacity growing exponentially in recent years. India's push for renewable energy is driven by a number of factors, including the need to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels, the falling costs of renewable energy technologies, and the potential for renewable energy to create jobs and boost economic growth. The expansion of renewable energy in India is creating new opportunities for businesses, farmers, and communities. Solar parks are being developed across the country, providing clean energy to millions of people and creating thousands of jobs. Wind power is also playing an increasingly important role in India's energy mix, with wind farms springing up in windy states such as Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. Section 9. Sustainable agriculture, feeding a nation while protecting the planet. Agriculture is a critical sector for India, employing millions of people and contributing significantly to the country's GDP. However, agriculture is also a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions and is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. India is promoting a range of sustainable agriculture practices aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving soil health, and increasing resilience to climate change. These practices include zero-budget natural farming, which emphasizes the use of locally available resources and natural inputs to enhance soil fertility and reduce the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Crop diversification. By growing a wider variety of crops, farmers can reduce their vulnerability to pests, diseases, and extreme weather events. Water conservation. As India is facing increasing water scarcity, efficient irrigation practices are essential for ensuring food security in a changing climate. Section 10. Protecting India's natural heritage. India is home to a wealth of biodiversity, including a wide range of ecosystems, from the Himalayas to the coasts. These ecosystems are not only essential for supporting life, but also play a vital role in regulating the climate and providing ecosystem services. Climate change poses a significant threat to India's biodiversity. Rising temperatures, changes in rainfall patterns, and more frequent extreme weather events are already impacting ecosystems and the species that depend on them. India is taking steps to protect its natural heritage in the face of climate change. The country has established a network of protected areas, including national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. These protected areas play a crucial role in conserving biodiversity and mitigating the impacts of climate change. Section 11. A call for collective action. The challenge of climate change is immense, but it is not insurmountable. By acting together with urgency and determination, we can create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. The time for complacency is over. The future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come depends on the choices we make today. Let us rise to the challenge, embrace the opportunities presented by a low-carbon future, and work together to build a world where both people and nature can thrive.